When Wolfold had entered a haunted house adventure, the old man proposed a deep dive into the elevator. Will opened his mouth to ask, but the old man kicked him down, then hit the elevator pause button and shushed him like a librarian. At this point, the old man pulled out a bag of chips and flung them into Will's lap, then performed magic. As he pulled off all of Will felt like he had turned into a chip collector, while half of the NSA surveillance signal seemed to disappear in the chaos. The old man led Will up to the rooftop, unexpectedly proclaiming himself the king. Yet before Will's surveillance equipment could finish their cleanup act, the NSA agents hurriedly arrived at the scene. Under old BS orders, Will tossed his watch and zoomed towards the 20th floor like a super spy, but the NSA agents were like the Avengers on his tail, perfectly tracking him down. Will had to pretend to be the janitor and knock on a door, only to find the NSA waiting for him like it was a surprise party. Will suddenly realized his clothes hid tracking Ferry. Before the young couple, he activated his strip skill. Will stripped down to his undies and bolted to the balcony, tossing his pants like a seasoned performer in a comedy show. Then NSA agents burst in like pirates, but Will had climbed down the railing to the next floor. True to his past as a Superman, he sprang down a level like a pogo stick. Will donned his comfy exit pajamas, only to be cornered by NSA agents, with the storage room door about to get kicked in. With no way out, Will decided to show off his torch skills, turning a towel into a flamethrower that instantly set off the hotel's fire alarm. This time, the American firefighters acted surprisingly reliable, racing and like rockets, forcing the NSA agents to retreat. Will cunningly got saved by the fire. With police escort, Will was loaded into the ambulance, but as soon as they left the hotel, he snatched the cop's gun and forced the ambulance to stop like a movie heist. In pajamas, Will dashed barefoot through the tunnel like a supercar, nearly colliding with NSA agents. Will dove into the wrong lane. Even Liu Xiang would applaud him with brother. As he used the gun to stop an oncoming car and slipped into a maintenance, for the first time, he shook off the agents, ran through a maintenance tunnel, and stumbled into the legendary gorgeous sewer. They didn't give Will a breather as the NSA chase cars barreled in like something from Mad Max. The NSA agents chased after him, but nearly got flattened by an oncoming truck, just watching Will vanish from sight. Several agents climbed out of the manhole, cornered a black youth in pajamas, then pulled off his hat and found it wasn't Will. The next day, Cara took out the trash with her dog when suddenly Will jumped out to grab her. Will urgently explained that the NSA was eavesdropping on him and needed her to take her son back home for a breather. Suddenly, Will recalled that his son might have taken Dana's stuff. He hid in the Nana's car, waiting for her to pick up his son. The boy returned a broken recorder and a tape. Will intended to reach out to Rachel immediately, but discovered an NSA surveillance vehicle near her house. He called the cops to report the car, but to stay under the radar, he had to back off temporarily. Once the surveillance car left, Will quickly showed up and marked the trash can in front of Rachel's house. He then sneaked into her house, only to discover Rachel had been eliminated by the NSA, leaving Will in shock. Will noticed Rachel's floor cluttered with his clothes, realizing it weighed heavily on him. Thus, he became the target of police pursuit, with nowhere to run. The next day, Old B showed up at the dock. Will managed to knock on Old B's car door, informing him of Rachel's tragic fate. Hearing this, Old B stopped abruptly, fury erupting like a volcano, compelling him to act again. For innocent, poor Rachel, Old B took Will back and was determined to make the bastards pay. Due to hypoglycemia, Old B went to a supermarket and Will called Cora's friend via payphone. He believed papers would soon accuse him of Rachel's death, so asked a friend to warn Cara. Old B.S. daughter was quite sharp-tongued about it, and Will requested his friend to clarify things with Cara to clear out misunderstandings. Will thought he could dodge surveillance by using a payphone, but the NSA had already set up their traps all over. Not long after, they traced the supermarket through the phone call, even locking onto Old B.S. image. Unbeknownst to everyone, Old B brought Will back to the secret lair. This place was like a giant birdcage, completely cut off from the outside world, with no signal getting in. Old B started decoding the tape and found footage of Senator White being assassinated, and Will finally grasp the truth of it all. Old B hacked the NSA database, revealing Old Ray, the mastermind. Just then, alarms blared in the lair, and looking outside, the NSA crew was almost at the door. Oldby swiftly took the tape, triggered self-destruct, and fled with Will and a cat out the back. Seconds later, the building exploded, turning into rubble. At that moment, Ray's goons rammed the old BS truck like crazy. Old BS truck caught fire from the impact, prompting Will to fire back, managing to escape, but the truck was too charged to drive. They abandoned the truck to flee. Worse, Dana's video burned to ashes. A series of mishaps enraged Oldby. He knocked Will down, blaming him for Rachel, his life, and all losses. Surrounded by the NSA, they had to work together to have a slim chance of survival, then managed to hijack a Benz and delve into a restaurant.